Hi everybody. Today I'd like to talk to you about my book, The Erromango Disruption. I've had quite a few questions about exactly what's in it and if it's boring and what it's about completely. And basically what it is 20 years ago I realised that climate change was likely to wipe us off the face of the planet and we needed to do something. So I started watching climate change and trying to work out if there was any way that I could contribute by coming up with some ideas that might be solutions for climate change. Um, Over that time, I gathered a whole lot of information and worked out what I thought was a feasible idea that might be a way that we could certainly slow climate change down, feed 1 billion people, provide um, biofuel for a large section of the planet, and feed a lot of livestock and reduce methane and lower sea levels and do a whole lot of things. And I put all that together into a document, and it was really boring. And I didn't think anybody was going to read it. I ran it by a friend of mine, a professor in marine biology, to explain, see what he thought about all the information in it. And he said, really, you need to just get it out there and get it out there now. So, looking at that whole thing, what I realised was that the things that make political change are people. So if you want to get political change, you need to get people to change their perception. And so when I'd started writing this content about 8 years ago, people weren't even thinking or listening about climate change. Now we've had a whole lot of pressure happen and people are starting to notice, but they're not really thinking about big solutions that we need to do. So the Erromango Disruption is actually about big solutions. So I wanted it to be written so that it could be turned into a book, which could be turned into something that would be of interest to people, and maybe a movie that people would go and watch so that they could understand exactly what we can do. Essentially, what most people don't realise is that the air that you breathe, most of it comes from the ocean. Only a very small percentage comes from the land. And the worst part is that it comes from a part of the ocean that's right around the coasts. So only about 8% of the ocean. And that's the bit that we're destroying. And that's the bit that we're going to destroy the fastest when we start flooding our cities around the coast, because we've got literally billions of people living around the coasts all around the planet. So the concept is that Australia gets turned into an inland sea. It's been an inland sea before. A place called Erromango is right in the centre of that. This is set about 25 years from now, where that's actually been done. It's working. People are getting the benefit of it, and someone's worked their way to make money out of stopping it. So as you go through the book, you meet a whole lot of interesting characters. You go to a whole lot of interesting places. And it's a murder mystery novel. It's a fast-paced, sort of very like Avatar meets Mission Impossible. It's a very fast-paced book. But all of the science is real, and all of the things that are in there are things that we could actually do today to slow climate change down. It's called The Erromango Disruption. The front cover here, the artwork here, that bird is called Bunjil. It comes from an Australian Aboriginal creation story. And so get out there and buy it, because if you go and buy it, particularly on Kindle, I'd prefer if you get it on Kindle, then I've got enough money to turn it into an audio book, and you can then get it on audio as well. So love to see you have a look at it. It does actually have viable answers to climate change in it, and it could feed 1 billion people and power throughout all of Asia and the Pacific. So Erromango Disruption, it's out now on Amazon. Thanks for watching.